Hello, good evening. Welcome to the space. I'm filming in the evening today because I have had a pretty wild week and it's only Tuesday. So the other day I was thinking about how I have half an arm full of tattoos, and I was like, is that gonna be weird when I'm a mom? Like, who cares what people think, really? I really liked them at the time when I got them, and I really like them now, and I like the story behind them. So recently I've been thinking a lot about just these last 10 years of life. I'm 26 years old now, about to have a baby, been married to this awesome guy named Josh for 2 years now. And I think when life starts to change so much, so fast, I think sometimes we try to hold on to little things that keep us feeling stable and not as inconsistent as like our change might be. So it reminded me of this 16/17-year-old girl who would walk down the streets downtown in her hometown, who was new, mind you. I had just moved from the capital of my state to this little town called Tucson, and there was a lot of change happening, so I was trying to hold on to little things that made me feel like I had control. And one of those things was walking alone and people watching and going to cafes and bookstores and having some good old me time. I don't know if you guys are like this, and maybe some introverts are like, yeah, and extroverts are probably like, girl, can't relate. But that's okay. That's all right. We're all different. We're all supposed to be different. I think when I was younger, I felt like this really deep sense of needing to explain why I had all of these tattoos. Like, some people that didn't understand were like, whatever. Like, some people were pretty hardcore about it. And I think when you're young, you just kind of get a bit like self-conscious and you're like, I don't know, like I really like them. And you know, you try to kind of like justify and maybe like find a sense of like validation. I think the older I got, I just thought it's not about the why. I don't need to explain to people the why. I think there's something really special about the fact that sometimes people care about the what, and they ask the story behind the tattoo, or the story behind whether it's like you've changed your hair drastically, or you moved from one country to the other, or yeah, it's just people wanting to know the experience and to share the story with you. And I think that also brings a lot of like value to people. People feel so cared for when you ask them like, yeah, like what was that process like? Or what was it like when you did so and so? So it got me thinking, and I kind of like had to shake like my mind a bit. And I was like, you know what? Doesn't matter what you look like. You're gonna be an awesome mom regardless, because that's not where your confidence should come from. Your confidence comes from the fact that you know who you are, you know who you want to be, and you're on your way to finding that. Side note, do you guys miss having like a good old coffee with your mates, like with your friends? I feel like in America, you guys have, your lockdown has lifted, but here in Australia, we're still kind of like waiting and waiting and waiting. But I know that soon lockdown will lift and we will be able to see our people again. So I'm really excited to have some good old coffee time with my friends. So after that like massive side note tangent about tattoos and stuff, I had a really good chat with my therapist. Shout out, she's the best. And we were talking about motherhood. She said, what makes a mother? And I kind of thought, well, it's kind of obvious. Like, I'm pregnant, so I'm gonna be a mom soon. We didn't really stay on that subject for too long, but it stood out to me a lot. And I started thinking about it. Like, what makes a mom? And I think for some people being a mom is like physically like giving birth to a baby, like falling pregnant, taking care of this child. I think for other people it's a combination of that, but also, you know, someone who is naturally nurturing and loving and accepting, and someone who likes to bring other people in on the journey and saying, hey, like I got you. Yeah, like a sense of like support, like a natural support person. And I don't know if you've met people like that, but I love people like that because it makes you feel so safe and so supported and so welcomed in a way. So I don't know if that's something that you guys have ever thought about, but yeah, that's something that got me thinking. I thought that's pretty cool. My conclusion is that motherhood is kind of like what you make it. And although I don't know what kind of mom I'm going to be, I'm gonna try my best to be a darn good one and to just be myself. I think it's so easy to set these like big standards on yourself when really sometimes you just have to take it a day at a time. And I think it's the same with pregnancy. At the moment I find myself just taking it one day at a time. And I think what has helped me kind of start thinking more about the fact that I'm about to be a mom is taking it slow and kind of acknowledging, you know, the past, acknowledging this journey that I'm on, and then just kind of looking ahead with like a lot of excitement and expectation and just thinking, you know, I'm gonna be okay. I was okay back then, even though I didn't feel like I was. And now I'm still here and I'm doing pretty okay. And so if there's some of you guys who, you know, have been maybe a bit like anxious as they wait for their baby to be born, or who are a bit, you know, maybe feeling like they're just hoping that they're gonna be a good mom, I think you're gonna be a pretty good darn mom. Something that has helped me a lot this week and like these last few months is, so I finally got myself a journal, but recently with like life getting a bit busy and with working and falling pregnant and all these amazing things, I just haven't had the time to like process this time and to want to sit and just like write. I finally thought, you know what, I'm gonna get myself a notebook. I'm gonna write things down so that I remember, so that when I'm old one day, I can open one of these bad boys up and be like, I forgot about that. Or, you know, something like, oh, that's really, really lovely. Like I'm so glad that I wrote it down. With, I think, writing things down, it got me thinking about the idea that I know there's gonna be a really big change, but you just can't pinpoint what you're gonna be like when that little baby is born. And so a part of that has made me sometimes feel a little bit anxious, or nervous / excited, all of these things, all the feels. I just thought, you know, oh, I hope I don't lose myself too much, because I think I've started to just really accept who I'm becoming now. And with the journaling, it's really helped me realize that you don't really lose yourself. There's like a new part of yourself that's growing and learning, and it's kind of like a puzzle piece added. This week I really thought, like, oh my gosh, I love my job. Working with people in the disability sector, like health and disability sector, has really just like made me think outside of, obviously, like myself. I think we're naturally always, you know, kind of thinking about ourselves, or maybe it's just me, but it has naturally made me just feel like I found something that's really special there. I had mentioned in my last video that I fell pregnant around the same time when I started my job. And so there's been this sense of like, oh my gosh, I love this job. And also like, oh my gosh, I love that I'm gonna be a mom. In a way, I can't have both of those things at the moment because I'm about to hand over, you know, this job for a while. And then I'm gonna have a new, you know, lifestyle. That means taking care of this little beautiful baby. And don't judge me here, like hear me out. And so with this journaling stuff, it's been so helpful because I've been able to kind of process that now. Maybe you guys have done it too with any like change, whether you've moved out of the country or whether you've started a new job or did like a complete career change, yeah, any big change. I think sometimes there's the sense of missing what was before. I'm not sure what happened to my camera at all, but it erased like half of my footage. But as I was saying, I think in all honesty, preempting the idea that I'm going to miss my job and that I'm going to miss my lifestyle now. And I know that because I've taken so much time to process this, when I do enter this season of caring for this baby and enter into a full-time role as a mother. And so there's this desire to learn how to juggle both this full-time job and motherhood eventually in the future. But it's that in between that I've been, kind of missing in advance. And so I don't want these feelings to be confused for lack of gratitude, because I'm actually so blessed. I've prayed for this baby. I've prayed for this season. I've looked forward to this season. There's certain things I think that are important to be real about, because I do know that there's a few of us who do feel that way. And so I really hope that if you feel the same, or if there's some sort of feeling that you can relate to, that maybe this releases you to actually feel like that, and maybe write about it or talk to someone about it, and go through those feelings so that you can move on from those feelings and then find a new strength and a new sense of stability in this new season. And so I hope this video was helpful to you guys. I think we talked about a lot of different things, but this was my week and this was my brain this week. So I hope you guys feel encouraged, and in no way do I mean offense in any way, because I love being pregnant and I love that I'm gonna be a mom. And so you guys are awesome. If you've watched this so far, thank you so much. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps little channels like mine grow and continue to be able to post even more. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next week.